Hi, okay. Good evening, everyone. Happy to see all of you here for our first workshop of the year. So we hope everyone is well and safe amidst the COVID situation. But let's not drag the time and jump straight into the workshop. But before that, we will go through the agenda for today. So, first we will be having a short introduction, which is what we're going to have now, of the event. And next, we will pass it over to our speaker, Mr. Shafiq, to lead us into the main event. After that, we will have a short Q&A and photo taking session towards the end of the workshop. So let us introduce the speaker for today, Mr. Shafiq. So he was a construction worker turned programmer 3 years ago and now works for an MNC as a full stack developer while holding a position as a software engineer. He's also an AWS certified cloud developer, and his quote for us is to follow your dreams. So without further ado, I'll pass this time over to you, Mr. Shafiq.
All right, thank you, Aisha. Hi, everyone. I hope you are well and stay safe. All right, so for today, I will do an introduction to React.js for you guys. So let's get started. I will share my screen. All right, I prepared slides for you guys. So this is the introduction to React.js. So who am I? My name is Shafiq Nazim bin Ismail. I was a construction worker, as Aisha said just now. And during my free time, I love to play golf and go fishing. So this is a few pictures of myself. So this is me when I was a construction worker. And then this is me playing golf. And then this is me go fishing. This is the biggest fish that I've caught. It's weight almost 100 kilogram. So it's almost more than us human. And then right now I'm working as a full stack JavaScript developer at MNC company. And then I'm also an AWS certified cloud practitioner. Okay, so jump into React.js. So what is React.js? This is the explanation that I copied from their website. If you want to check it out, you can go to this website, reactjs.org. Okay, so you can see all the components and all the documentation about React.js here. So this is what I copied from their website. So it is a declarative and then component based. And then if you learn once, you can write anyway. So for declarative part, so React makes the front end painless to create the interactive user interface, and then design with simple views for each state in your application, and React will efficiently update and render just the right component when your data changes. The declarative views make your code more predictable and easier to debug. And then the next one is component based. So what is component based? Component based is a built encapsulated components that manage their own state, then compose them to make complex UI. Okay, so in the modern website right now, so they use a lot of components that they they use in a lot of pages in their website. I mean, like for example, the button. So the button will be used a lot in the website. So in React.js you can make it as one component, and then you can use all the components everywhere in your website. Okay, since component logic is written in JavaScript instead of templates, you can easily pass rich data through your app and keep state out of the DOM. So DOM is what is it? Can't remember the acronym for DOM. Let me Google. Document object model. Okay, DOM is document object model. And then learn once, write anywhere. So we don't. This is what they write on their website. So they don't make assumption about the rest of technology stack. So you can develop new features in React without rewriting existing code. So React can also render on the server using Node and power mobile apps using React Native. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. So for the web, I'm using React.js for the web application, and then I'm using React Native for the mobile application as well. Okay, so how famous is React in the real world? So this is the survey result from Stack Overflow 2021 developer survey. So React has already surpassed jQuery last year. So the survey tends to be like 40% of the developer in the whole world using React.js as their web framework. jQuery becomes second, and then you can see the rest of it. So you can Google Stack Overflow 2021 developer survey, and then you can see all the results that are shown there. Okay, so for this workshop, the tools that you need to install is npm. So this is the link for installing the npm. What is npm? Npm is a node package manager. So it's the world's largest software registry. So the registry contains over 800,000 code packages, and then it also contains open source developers use npm to share their software. So there's a lot of open source developers. They use npm to share their software. And then many organizations also use npm to manage private development. So organization, I mean like startup, from startup to enterprise organization, they usually use npm to manage their private development. Even I'm working as at a MNC company, they also use Node Package Manager as their private, as their software registry private development. Okay, and then the second one is Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code is a IDE that I am familiar with. So I use this at work. So what is Visual Studio Code? It's a lightweight but powerful source code editor which runs on your desktop and is available for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. Okay, so it comes with built-in support for JavaScript, TypeScript, and Node.js. Okay, so this is what we're going to use today, JavaScript. And then after that, if you are already familiar with JavaScript, maybe you can explore TypeScript to prepare yourself for the real world. Then, okay, the projects that we are going to do today. So we try to do 3 projects here, but I don't know if we have sufficient time to complete all 3. So first one is counter and Bmi calculator. So this one will make you familiar. This project will make you familiar on the state that we use, the state in React. And then to-do list, you can be familiar with state as well, and button that we are going to render after this. And then random daily codes is we are going to get a data, and then you can manipulate the data on how you will be using the data on your project. Okay, so until now, does anyone have any question? No?
Nope.
Okay. All right. It's quite quiet here. All right. After that, so then I will continue on the project. So first one is counter and Bmi calculator. So if everyone is ready, I just create the new project here. So this is my terminal. Okay, to start a React app, this is the command that you need to do after you install npm. And then if you run this command here, it will generate a basic package for you to use in React. All the boilerplates and everything to make you start the first React app. So we just need to wait for it to be run. Okay, so it's finished running. So there's a few command that they suggest you to run. All right. So the first is npm start and npm run build. So npm starts to start the development server, and then run build is to bundle the app into static files for production. So if you want to deploy your apps to production, you have to run this command first, and then npm test to start the test runner, and then npm run inject to remove this tool and copies build dependencies, configuration files, and script into the app directory. So if you do this, you cannot go back. So we suggest you that you begin by typing cd calculator. So calculator is our app's name that I declared just now. So this one is the command for npm, and then this is create the app to create the new React app, and then this one is how you want to name your project. So I decided to name this project as a calculator. So cd is we are going into that file calculator, and then we do an npm start. We run npm start here. Okay, sorry, I have running apps at the moment. Okay, npm start. Okay, if you see here, we can view our apps now in the localhost 3000. So we copy here, paste it in your browser. Okay, so this is our basic app that we have run. Okay, so this is the predefined template that are already inside the React.js if you run the create React app. So okay, this is a running app. Now we need to open this project in the Visual Studio Code. So if I stop this one, and then for Visual Studio Code, there's a command code dot to open the folder in the Visual Studio Code. So this is what I open. So if you can see here, saying calculator. So this is the project that I've created just now. So there's a few folders and file here. So this is the important file in the React project. So package.json is where we define everything in our whole project. So this is the packages that we have used. So for our project, the name of our project is calculator. So version, they put it as 0.1.0 as a default one. Whether it's a private project, they decided to make it as a true. So this is the dependencies that are pre-installed using in create React app. Okay, so this is the testing library. There's 3 testing library, and then React DOM, React scripts, and Web Vitals. Okay, so this is the scripts that I told you just now. You can run by npm start, build, test, eject, and everything. So this is the config for ESLint. And then this is the browser list that is predefined by React. Okay, so the command that we run just now. Okay, so if you go over here, you can click terminal. If you click new terminal, you can open a new terminal in VS Code. This is inbuilt with Visual Studio Code. So this one, it's the same terminal, but it is by other application. So you can choose whether if you want to use outside VS Code terminals or you want to use the built-in terminals. So sometimes I just like to use the third-party one because I want to just focus on Visual Studio Code to type all the coding. Okay, so if you want to run the script, you have to initiate it by typing npm, and then the script's name. So for npm start, you can just type npm start. That's what I did just now. And then if you want to run the test, okay, so the test will run all the React script tests. Okay, so where is the test is written? It is on the, if you can see here, there's a file name app.test.js. So it will run this test here, but we'll going that afterward. So the one that we saw just now, if I run npm start, the one that we see here is coming from the app.js file here. So if you can see here, I think you all are familiar with JavaScript and HTML. I assume you have familiar with HTML. Okay, so this is the div and then header. So the image, this is the image that this app is rendered. It's called logo. So where is this logo coming from? It is imported from this file here. So how it import? So // is like one level up. It's on the same folder called logo.svg. So we are in the src folder, so we can find a file named logo.svg. So this is the logo that have been rendered in here. Okay, and then they are importing the CSS file as well. So the app CSS file is in here. So if you can see here in the CSS, they will do the animation app logo spin. Okay, so that what makes this image is spinning continuously because of this CSS file. I'm assuming you guys are familiar with CSS as well. Okay, and then after that, the P tag is for paragraph. Okay, edit source to reload, and then this A tag is to go to the React.js official documentation. All right. Until here, do you guys have any question? So if you guys have any question, feel free to just stop me and then ask question, because I cannot see you guys, and then I don't know if you are following this or not. So I will just continue. Okay, so first one, we will make the calculator apps. So first we will remove everything from here, and then if we save, we refresh this, yeah, we can see it's the blank screen. Okay, so I will put the h1 tag here. We will call this calculator app. Okay, so we can see what changes that we make. So the changes is in the live server. So if you change, if you make a change and then you save the file, and then you can see the changes in this localhost 3000 server. Okay, All right. So we will make the counter here as 0. And then we make two buttons. This is one for adding the numbers. And then next one is to deduct. Oh, sorry, it's a counter app. Okay. So we can see the number here, 0 is coming from this part here. And then we make two buttons to add the numbers. So the initial number is 0. So we can add, if we click this add button, this number will increase by 1 or 2, whatever number that we decided to make. So we want to click this button and then increase this number. If we click the deduct button, it will deduct according to what we set. So right now, we initialize this counter as a 0. And then, okay, so this is where I will start using a state. Okay, so if you want to learn about state, you can go to the React js.org documentation /doc/hooks.state. So you can read about the state here. Okay, so I'm just going to continue. So this is the counter. So we initialize this as 0. Okay, we put here as counter. Okay, and then we want to make this button here works. So we make a function called add function. So this function, we just want to increment this counter number. So we use the second parameter here, which is set counter. Set counter, and then we take the current counter number and then make it +1. Okay, so the second one is deduction. So for deduction, we want to deduct the current number by 1. Okay, so we put this function at the button here. So on change, add, and then this one on change, deduct. Okay, so we got an error here. So the error is, you can see here, it's saying that line 5 use state is not defined. So line 5 is here. So this use state is not defined. It is because we are not importing the, according to this documentation here, we need to import the use state from React. So in this file here, we are not importing the use state, so that's why we cannot use it. So if we copy this line here and then paste it on top and save the file. Okay, so the error is gone, and then we can use the use state here. We can use the state from React to make our counter apps work. So right now, the button is to adding this counter by 1, and then the deduct button is to deduct the counter also by 1. So if we if we click here, oh, if we refresh, oh wait, why is it not working? Okay, let me restart the server again. We close and then we run npm start again. Oh, sorry. So for button, we cannot use on change. We use on click because we are clicking the button. Sorry, that's my bad. Okay, so if we hit a refresh here, so yep, okay. So on click, we call this function here, which is add that we declare on top. So it's adding the initial counter that we set to 0, and then it will add the current counter number by 1. Okay, so if we click, it will add to by 1 as long as you click it. So the deduct will deduct the number from the current number, and then it will minus 1. Okay, so this is the state that I'm talking about. So this is the a very important component in React. So okay, so right now that is all for the counter app. Then we are moving to the Bmi calculator. Okay, so for Bmi, we will delete everything from here. Okay, let's start with Bmi app. And then, okay, for Bmi, we want to take the user's weight and height to calculate the Bmi. So we will make that as an input here. So input for weight, we use type number. And then we put as a placeholder with kg, so they know what is the format that we are using. And then second one, same type as well. And then placeholder is height by meter. Okay, so if you can see here, there's an input that we can put. So we declare this as a type number, so we cannot input any alphabet here, any characters here, except for numbers only. Okay. Then after that, we make 2 buttons to calculate. So we make a new div. So the first button is to calculate the Bmi. And then second button is to reset the Bmi. Okay, there's calculate Bmi and reset button. So we can put an inline style on all this tag here. So if we type style here, we can put a margin Okay, 10 to make the gap here. And then we go into the function. So the first step that we want to use is width. So we initialize it as a 0. And then second state for height. We also initialize it as a 0. And then the third one is the BMI. Also we initialize it as 0. Okay. Okay, so input here, we want to set the input to be as a width state here. So what we can do, we can, this is where we use on change. So every change that we use, we do in input will set the state to this width part here. Okay, so in on change, we will get an event here. So event dot target dot value. We will set the width. Okay, so using event dot target dot value, and then the same thing for height as well. So we do this as a set height. Okay, and then after that, we want to set the BMI and then put it here. Your BMI is BMI. So this BMI is from here. So right now the BMI is 0 because we initialize the BMI with 0. And then we'll do the calculation here. So we make a new function, calculate BMI. Okay, so the Bmi formula is weight in kg divided by height times 2. Okay, so total Bm, make a variable called total Bmi equals to weight divided by height times height. Okay, and then we set BMI with this new variable that we are making. Okay, so in the calculate BMI button, we initiate the on click by calculate BMI. Okay, refresh. So if we put our height and weight here, so we will this one in meter, 1.7, calculate. Okay, so the BMI will be 34.6.2.0, and there's a few decimal places. Okay, so if you want to make a decimal place to whatever we wish, so we can just Google GS 2 decimal. Okay, we can just put dot to fix. So in here, if we set total BMI dot to fix. Then we refresh the app. So we put 100 and 1.5. So it will return 44 and then put 1.7. Okay, so it will go to 35, just 35. It will round the number to the nearest number. So if you want to put the decimal places, we need to put the number here into fix. What is the decimal places? How many decimal places that we want to use? So if we put here 2, it will go to 2 decimal places, which is 34.60. Okay. All right. So this is the reset button. There's a reset button here. The reset button is responsible to reset everything here. So we will make a new function called reset. And then we will set the width to 0 again. Set height also to 0. And then set BMI also to 0. Okay, so if we click the reset button, if you refresh, okay, 1.7, click. Okay, oh, we haven't used this reset on the button yet. So if we put on click and then call reset function here. Okay, if we click reset, it will reset the BMI, but it will not reset the input here. Okay. And then we also can make the those window refresh automatically by hitting this reset button by using window dot. Let me Google. Okay, window dot location dot reload. So if we put 100 and 1.7, calculate. Okay, so if you click reset, it will refresh the whole pages. Okay, so we can clear this one and then just make this whole web is refreshed to make the initialization to become normal again. Okay, that is all for the counter and BMI calculator. So we going to the next one, in which is to-do list. Okay, so we can clear everything here. Make a new H1 called to-do list. Okay. So for to-do list, we will make a dummy data here. As to-do, and then we map all this data to appear in here. Okay, so we call it as to-do dot map. Okay, if we mapping, we will get the item here. And then we will make a p tag item.name. So if we see here, we can get the name that is created from this one here. And then we will make a button as well to mark it as done. And then we want to delete the button, delete the task. Okay, so I will put a bit of styling to separate all the tasks. We will put a border 2 pixel solid black. And then margin 10, padding also 10. Okay, so each task will separated by this border here. So we can see, we can mark it as done or delete. Okay, so we can change one task here by, okay, we completed the task number 4. So for background, we can do a ternary operator. Item.completed goes to true. If the completed is true, we make the background green, or else red. You need to put it in the string. Okay, maybe light green or light gray. Okay, so we know here that the green one is completed, and the pink one is not completed yet. So we want to make the button change the task here to make it as done or not. Okay, and then next one we want to remove. We want to make the delete button to remove the list from this whole list, the item from the list. So we will make a new function called remove. Okay, so this is all the items. Okay, we will set the to-do to these items again. Okay, so on delete, we will call this function remove, we pass the item ID here, item.id. Item is not defined. No, this one is not item, this one is to do. Okay, so the item will come from here, item. So if you refresh, we can delete. Okay, delete function is okay. So we will remove the list by clicking this delete button here. Okay, and then we want to make the done functionality here. Okay, const completed. We will get the item ID also. Okay, so we will map the to do function here. And then set to do to the new items that we are creating. Okay, this is the item. Okay, so okay, I will. Okay, so how to change a value? We can Google change value in state. Okay, change your state in React. All right. So we will get the item dot ID equals to item ID that we pass. Okay, we make a change check here. If item dot ID is equals to item ID, and then item dot completed equals to true. Okay, so in here we do on click. We call this function here call completed, and then we pass the item dot ID. Okay, let's see. so this function is not functioning right now. Wait, let me check again. How to change Okay, I think for now we can just continue on just deleting this one. We remove the complete functionality here. Okay, so in here we make a new input. Type text and then placeholder add to do. Okay, we make it in a div. And then button, add button here. Okay, so comes add item. And then this add button here will call the function add item. Equals to array of to do and then new item. We will get the name here. And then we will make a new state. New to do. Okay, the new item is new to do items dot push new to do. On change, we will get the event, then event dot target dot value. We will set the new to do with this one. So the ID is to do dot length +1, and name is new to do, and completed we will initiate as a false. Okay, so we try to refresh again. Test. Okay, so we can add a new list here. Okay, and we can delete. Okay, new task add. Okay, so all right, this is the to-do list. We can delete and we can add the list that we want in here. So there's a lot of JavaScript built-in functions that we use. We use push, we use filter. So I hope you guys are familiar with that. Okay, that is all for to-do list. Do you have any question for these two projects here? Counter and Bmi Calculator?
Nope.
Okay, so I think if no, you guys are already familiar with React, we can just wrap up this workshop here. So where to go from here? I think you can explore these few things that I've noted here. So you can explore with Redux, React testing library, integrate with free API, Node.js, and React Native. Okay, yep, I think that's all for the workshop today.
Mr. Shafiq, do you want to go for the third project?
Yeah, I think you guys are already familiar because you have no question. So I think I just skip the third project here.
Oh, because we finished 1 hour earlier.
Yeah.
But
all right. Thank you guys for your time. See you guys later.
okay, so before we end, let us all take a short photo taking session for a while. But you guys can scan the feedback form first for this event. We'll give you guys 10 seconds maybe to scan. Okay, let's have like a short photo taking session. So can some of you turn on your cameras for a while? Okay,
Okay, so I will start taking the picture in 3, 2, 1. Hold on, yeah.
okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, so yeah, I think that's the end for the workshop. You guys have any questions? If you guys do not have any questions, you guys can leave. Thank you.